Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I want to ask the question, do women want men to be slaves? Because here's the thing, there's a huge psychological manipulation and trick that takes place with men that destroys their lives. And it's all centered around this idea of work and earning and being a good man. So we definitely want to talk about this. And this is perhaps the most important issue in a man's life. In a capitalistic society, in a free market, it's not set up to create workers. It's set up to create business owners, to create people who start enterprises. Now, the workers do great in this type of a system. There's so many reasons why. It's a free and open system, so it's directly connected to what constitutes fair play for human beings. And this is the only way to really get their cooperation, but that's a little bit more of a complex subject. But trust me on this. The system is set up for people to create businesses, to earn a profit, to gather resources, and to take the things that are productive and the things that work and the things that fulfill the needs of the marketplace and grow them and build them and add to them. And the other services that are not needed, that are not competitive, they're meant to fail. They should fail. There's no demand for them. They don't fulfill the need that they're supposed to fulfill. Understand that if you'll do this, that the systems which serve a need will grow. They'll become huge. They will become very profitable. And the ones that don't will fail and fall by the wayside. Understand that the ones that succeed will become a whole industry, a giant industry unto themselves. Apple is the wealthiest company in the world. Google makes $54 million a day, and rightly so. Now, this offers a great opportunity for people who are coming up to work for these successful free market enterprises. And a person could potentially work their whole lives for other people. However, every advantage is given to the building of the industries and the businesses, and not to the individual. The individual is taxed on everything multiple times. The enterprise is only taxed on profits. And if you're smart, you will take your profits and reinvest them into the enterprise. So, the enterprise is not taxed, but it's creating wealth. It's productive. Again, you as a man, you could work for other people your whole life. But, take any field, industry, job, and have a man start out at the lower levels to learn the trade, to learn the craft, to learn the ins and outs. Isn't he going to want to progress and learn more and take on more responsibility and be more productive and earn more? You know that he is. Now, why would a man, especially a young man, adopt the idea that he wants to be a worker for some other man or for someone else who's set these things up? In ancient times, we would have called the man who set everything up a master and the man who worked for him a slave. You are your own master. You are your own slave. Sorry, I don't want to trigger anybody, but I believe that is the proper way to look at it. But now we say, actually, that mischaracterizes the relationship. The employer is actually a very beneficial, benevolent giver of opportunity in a fair exchange, in an open marketplace, where both the products and the services that he puts out into the market, or she, and the jobs, the opportunities that the employer offers to the community, to the workers. But why do so many younger men, why do so many millennials feel contempt for the business owner, for the employer? Well, there's multiple reasons, but for MGTOW, there's a very important reason that you as a man need to wrap your head around, and I will get to that. Now, initially, you can understand, that anybody starting out at the bottom and having to deal with somebody who's running, the entire enterprise, that there's a huge power differential there, and that they're going to find fault. They're going to impugn the motives of the person who is above them or who they perceive to be above them. That's pretty easy to understand, especially, when you consider how worried and the nature of the individual. It's difficult to be grateful. It is. Even for me. See the irony there? Even for me. That's part of it. And there are other elements to it. But the most important one is the idea that the man needs to have a job to take care of the woman. It's a female idea that you should be a worker, that you should not take chances, that you should work for a small amount of security at something that you despise, rather than taking a chance at something that you love to do, that is your passion, that could garner huge success, worldwide success. You must know that that's open to you in this day and age, that the internet provides an opportunity that people have just never had before. The typical story is the young man with his dreams, with his ambitions, with his passions in life, getting into a relationship with a woman that he thinks is great, but in fact is just a dependent that's not going to build themselves up. And she suggests to him that the responsible, decent thing for him to do is to put aside his dreams, to put aside his passions, and to take a small, weak job where he can then take care of her and provide security and stability for her. And this is what the young men are taught. You can do it, but is it the right thing to do? Of course it's not. And yet, it is exactly what so many of us do. I suspect women do it as well. So maybe you're saying, Howard, I have to pay my bills. I have limited opportunities. This is what I have to do. And I understand, because I've been there. I think we're all there. But you're still going to have to take your free time and use it to build your future in a direction that you want to live in. Would you rather make $2 million a year doing something that you despise and you hate every single moment of it? Or would you rather be willing to make $1 million a year for the first couple of years doing something that you really enjoy and you love? The choice is yours. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It's probably going to be the hardest thing you've ever done. But that's not the point. The point is that the opportunity is there and that you should be building and making progress in that direction. And yet, for some reason, the man has a mindset of, no, you should just go work a job for another man, benefit by his abilities, be resentful, and not think about your future, and then divert yourself, entertain yourself, rather than build your future. Why? Why would you adopt that mindset? And yet, there it is. That's the mindset that men have adopted. Women want you to be a worker, a slave to another man so that you can provide for her. And so they praise it. They compliment it. What do you do for a living? It's their primary concern. Now, let's say you had a friend, a guy, and you were not in competition with him, and he said that he really wanted to be a musician. It doesn't really matter what it is. That's what he cared about. That's why he got up in the morning. But he could go to school to be an accountant. And he could probably be a pretty good accountant within, 2-3 years. And that's what his parents and that's what his girlfriend are pushing him to do. As a matter of fact, he might not even be that good of a musician just yet. What would you tell your friend to do? Wouldn't you tell your friend to do what he wants to do? That even if he was successful as an accountant, that it would be a miserable life? So why isn't that what you're doing? Why are you not finding what it is you want to do in life and then pursuing that? Because you have bills, because you have responsibilities, because you have expenses. Very well. Then use your spare time to move yourself, to move the ship, which is, the course of your life, in the direction where you're going to be happiest. Now, if you attempt to do this, the people around you, they will shame you. They will belittle. Who do you think you are? Why do you think you can do something that maybe only 1 out of 20 people can do? And they're trying to stop you. They've given up already. And when they see someone with any light in their eyes, with any spring in their step, with any strength in their back, they disparage it. They rip it down because they know they have betrayed themselves. The women want you to betray yourself for their convenience, for their resources. The people around you that have already given up and are servants to the system, they don't want to see you succeed. But you do understand now that as a worker, your earnings are going to be taxed. The gasoline that you use to get to work will be taxed. The tools, the clothes, the services that you need to do your job will be taxed. The food that you eat in order to sustain yourself to get to the next day is taxed. All of it. Multiple times. And the government, the state, wants to create more and more people in that position. They're fine with that. But why aren't you separating yourself out of that area and working for yourself? Why aren't you doing it? Because the system and the women around you want you to work for other men, for the state, for the system, for their benefit. You've been conditioned to play it safe. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate. Check me out over on Facebook. Check me out over on Patreon. I would really appreciate it. And join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, everyone.